I've been working there for about 8 months, saving up money for my nursing degree. The job wasn't anything fancy, but it paid decent enough, and my coworkers were great. Plus, the owner was really understanding about my class schedule. That one Wednesday started normally enough. I got the call early in the morning that both my manager and coworker had caught some kind of stomach bug that was going around. It wasn't ideal, but I'd handled solo shifts before. Our little shop was in a small shopping center with about 10 other stores. Nothing fancy, just your typical suburban strip mall setup. The morning rush had just died down and I was restocking the drink fridge when I heard the bell above the door chime. I turned around to see a woman storming in, her face as red as our shop's logo. She had a baby carrier in one hand, and if looks could kill, I'd have dropped dead right there. I barely began my welcome greeting when she cut me off, screaming that I should be ashamed of myself. I quickly ran through every order I'd filled that day, trying to figure out what I could have possibly done wrong. Coming up empty, I tried to keep my voice calm and professional as I apologized and asked what the problem was, offering to help. She launched into a rant about the bathroom being absolutely disgusting, with urine on the floor and a filthy changing table. She was yelling about someone potentially getting AIDS and how her baby needed changing right away. I knew exactly what she was talking about. The public restroom was on the complete opposite side of the shopping center, managed by the center's maintenance team. I apologized for the inconvenience and explained that the bathroom wasn't actually managed by our shop, directing her to speak with the cleaners whose office was right across from the bathroom. She accused me of being lazy and entitled before storming off to talk to them herself. 3 minutes later, she came bursting back through the door, somehow even angrier than before. She was screaming that the cleaner wasn't answering and demanding that I clean it right now. I tried explaining again that I couldn't help since I didn't work for center management and had no access to their cleaning supplies. She started screaming, so I excused myself to grab our emergency contact book from the back office. I found the center manager's number and told the woman I could call them to see what could be done. I made the call from our back office, and the manager explained that one cleaner hadn't shown up for their shift and the other was on break. When I relayed this to the woman, explaining that the cleaner would be back in 30 minutes and suggesting she could use the McDonald's bathroom across the street, she completely lost it. Before I could process what was happening, she'd reached over the counter, grabbed our cleaning spray, and walked straight into our kitchen area. She found our mop bucket and thrust it at me, insisting that if the cleaner wasn't here, it was my responsibility to clean it up immediately. I warned her to leave the kitchen immediately, or I'd have to call the police. She refused to move, declaring she wouldn't leave until I cleaned that bathroom. I explained that if her baby couldn't wait 30 minutes or make it to McDonald's, that wasn't my problem, reminding her that my job was cooking chicken and fries, not cleaning facilities for businesses I don't work for. She just shouted no at me, so I gave her one last warning about calling the police. She stood there, clearly thinking I was bluffing. I picked up the phone and started dialing. Finally, she stormed out, screaming the whole way. I thought it was over, but about 10 minutes later, she returned with 2 police officers in tow, pointing at me and claiming I had threatened her and her baby. I calmly explained the situation to the officers and showed them our security footage with audio. Their expressions changed from concerned to annoyed as they watched the woman's behavior unfold on screen. When they got to the part where she entered the restricted kitchen area, their eyes widened at that. Not only did they arrest her for trespassing, but they also added charges for making a false police report and entering a restricted food preparation area. The center manager later installed a sign by the bathroom clearly stating who to contact for cleaning issues. And my boss gave me a bonus for handling the situation professionally, though he did tease me about attracting interesting customers whenever I worked alone after that. I'm gonna share something that happened during my winter break a few years back. I was 15 at the time, pretty average teen. Slim build, about 5 feet 7 and 120 pounds. Not that it matters much, but it becomes relevant later. My parents and our old neighbors decided to do some post-Christmas shopping to catch those sweet holiday discounts. They brought their kid along, so naturally, I got dragged into babysitting duty. At least they let me bring my Switch to keep myself entertained. The neighbor's kid was actually pretty cool. I'd known him since he was born and visited weekly before we moved, so I was like his big brother from another mother. He always listened to me and was super well behaved. When we got to the mall, the kid and I headed to this little seating area near a playground and those coin-operated kiddie rides. It was right in front of a major store, so there were other parents and kids around. I told him he could go play but had to stay where I could see him. He nodded and ran off to join the other kids while I settled in with my Switch. After about half an hour, he came back and climbed up next to me. I had this game downloaded on my phone for situations like this, kind of like Candy Crush, but not exactly. I pulled it up and handed him my phone, telling him he could play but not to mess with anything else. He was having a great time, giggling as he cleared each level. Then this other kid came up and asked if he could play too. The neighbor's kid turned to me and asked if we could let the other kid play. I had to tell them both no, explaining that the phone was just for the neighbor's kid. The other kid pouted and walked away. A few minutes later, I noticed someone standing right in front of me. I looked up to see this woman glaring at me. When I asked if I could help her, she immediately demanded to know why I wouldn't let her son play the game. I explained that it was my phone and I wasn't comfortable letting strangers use it. She then questioned who the neighbor's kid was. When I explained he was my neighbor's kid, the boy looked up confused and asked what was happening. I told him to keep playing, but the woman ordered him to give her the phone. I quickly told him not to. The woman then started arguing that I probably didn't deserve the phone, pointing out that I must have enough money since I had a Switch. I tried explaining that whether I deserved it or not wasn't relevant. It was my phone. She got even more aggressive, declaring that her son deserved to play on the phone more than my neighbor's kid did. By now, some nearby parents were starting to look over. I had purposely sat away from everyone to focus on my game, but this woman was getting louder by the second. I pointed out that my neighbor's kid was polite and well-mannered, adding that he wouldn't demand to play if the situation was reversed. She demanded to know why he wouldn't listen to her, and I explained that he knew it was my phone and respected me more than a random stranger. The situation escalated when she called me a jerk and demanded I give her my phone and leave. That's when I lost my cool, though I still kept it clean. I shouted back, asking what her problem was and asserting that it was my phone and I wouldn't give it to her. She yelled back about me raising my voice, pulling the "I'm an adult, you're just a kid" card, and asking if my parents taught me to respect my elders. I told her yes, but added that respect wasn't owed to someone like her. She tried to slap me, but I blocked her. Then she grabbed my phone from my neighbor's kid's hands, stuffed it in her purse, and took off. I handed my Switch to the neighbor's kid and chased after her. She wasn't very fast in her heels, and I was pretty athletic, so I caught up quickly. I grabbed her arm and tripped her, making sure to catch her so she wouldn't fall too hard. When I was trying to get my phone back, a mall security guard came running over and ordered me to get away from her. I tried to explain that she had stolen my phone, but she immediately started fake crying and claimed I was trying to steal her phone and had tackled her when she ran. The guard had us both explain our sides. When he asked for proof, I pointed out my neighbor's kid and the other witnesses. He questioned everyone while she stood there smirking, probably thinking that tripping her made me look guilty. The guard asked me to describe my phone. I described the black Motorola with its clear case and lock screen showing a bridge leading to a beach. I also mentioned the fingerprint sensor on the back. When he asked her to take out the phone, her smirk disappeared. The phone matched my description exactly. When the guard asked her to unlock it, she couldn't, but I did it instantly with my fingerprint. She tried to run, but the guard caught her. They found 3 other stolen phones in her purse. She got arrested and charged with theft, assault for trying to slap me, and child endangerment since she abandoned her kid to steal my phone. The guard gave me a warning about leaving my neighbor's kid alone at the playground, which was fair. When our parents got back, the neighbor's kid told them what happened, and I filled in the details. I got praised for standing up for myself, but also got a talking to about the risks of chasing after thieves. Later found out she got 6 months in jail and had to pay restitution to all her victims. Her kid went to live with his dad, who apparently had been trying to get custody for years. Guess she finally gave him the evidence he needed. I never wanted to be the kind of person who'd plot revenge, but my younger brother made it impossible not to. His complicated birth and month-long stay in the intensive care unit made our parents treat him like he was made of glass. They gave him everything he wanted, even when it meant my sister and I got left behind. As we grew older, his entitled behavior only got worse. He turned into that relative everyone dreads having at family gatherings. At my sister's college graduation party, he got so drunk he knocked over the cake. At our cousin's wedding, he interrupted the best man's speech to tell everyone about his new job. Every single event had to revolve around him somehow. My sister and I tried talking to our parents about his behavior countless times. I would tell them that he was out of control and needed help, not enabling. But my mom would just remind us about almost losing him when he was born, while Dad would defend him by saying he was just expressing himself and that we needed to be more understanding. Things got even more complicated when he met his girlfriend. She was young, naive, and completely bought into his act of being the misunderstood family member. When my sister had her baby shower, his girlfriend actually stood up during the gift opening and announced her own pregnancy. My sister was in tears, and not the happy kind. When I proposed to my now wife, I wanted to elope, just the two of us, somewhere peaceful. But she dreamed of a proper wedding with her family present, and I couldn't deny her that. So, I invited my family too, including my brother. I even made him a groomsman, hoping he'd finally grown up. Then my best friend caught him at the jewelry store. While helping my brother with his suit, my friend found a receipt in his pocket. He confronted my brother about it, asking if he was planning what he thought he was planning. My brother got defensive and told him to mind his own business, claiming my friend didn't know anything. My friend warned him that my wedding wasn't the place for a proposal. When my friend told me about this, I immediately confronted my brother. I told him he was no longer going to be a groomsman because I knew what he was planning. He responded by denying everything and accused me of being jealous because our parents loved him more. I told him that this exact attitude was why he was out, but he could still come as a guest. However, I warned him that if he tried anything, he would regret it. He ran crying to our parents, but for once, they couldn't completely take his side. They knew his history too well. They did try to negotiate, though. My mom pleaded with me to let him back in the wedding party, saying he promised not to do anything. I refused, telling them he could only come as a guest, and warned them all that there would be consequences if he tried anything. The wedding day arrived and everything was perfect until the father-daughter dance. Right in the middle of my wife's special moment with her dad, my brother walked to the center of the dance floor, got down on one knee in front of his girlfriend, and proposed. Everyone gasped, the music stopped, and my wife's dance with her father was completely ruined. That's when my plan went into action. I'd hired an actress to play his angry mistress. She stormed in right after the proposal, making a scene about being pregnant with his baby. When she called his phone, which I'd secretly programmed with suspicious texts and calls, his girlfriend's face went from confusion to horror. She threw the ring at him and ran out crying. He's been calling and texting nonstop, demanding I clear his name. His girlfriend threw all his stuff out and won't let him see their kid. My parents are furious, and even my sister thinks I went too far. I finally responded to him after my honeymoon. I sent him a text with half the wedding bill and wrote that it seemed fair since he made it his engagement party. I also pointed out that the timestamps on those texts and calls on his phone matched perfectly with his proposal timing, making a snide comment about how funny evidence could be. He's still trying to fix things with his girlfriend, but she's not buying his excuses. My parents threatened to cut me off, but I reminded them that I've been financially independent since college, unlike their precious son who still needs their help paying rent. My wife says it was worth it. Nobody ruins her father-daughter dance and gets away with it. I'm 32 years old, and until recently, I was engaged to someone I thought was the love of my life. We'd been together for 3 years before I proposed, and everything seemed perfect until the wedding planning began. My ex-fiancée and I met through mutual friends at a tech conference. She worked in marketing, was ambitious, and had this infectious energy that drew everyone to her. When we started dating, she was independent, had her own place, and seemed to have her life together. We moved in together after a year, and I added her as an authorized user to my credit card for household expenses and emergencies. The problem started right after I proposed. She immediately took control of all the wedding planning, refusing any input from me. When I suggested we could look at venues together over the weekend, she dismissed me, saying it was her special day and she wanted everything to be perfect. I reminded her that it was our special day, expressing my desire to be involved. She just patronizingly told me that guys don't understand these things and that I should focus on work while she handled everything. I thought this was just wedding stress talking, so I backed off. But then came the credit card statement that changed everything. I was doing our monthly budget when I noticed several large charges from airlines and hotels across Europe, totaling over $15,000. I called her immediately. When I asked if she had booked a trip to Europe, she excitedly confirmed it, gushing about how she'd planned everything perfectly for Paris, Rome, Barcelona, Amsterdam, and more. I was shocked that she'd used my credit card without telling me. She casually explained that she needed a break from wedding planning stress and 2 months in Europe would help her relax before the big day. When I asked when she was planning to tell me about this, she nonchalantly said she was going to mention it over dinner that night, adding that she was leaving the following week. I was stunned that she hadn't even thought to invite me. Her response was even more shocking. She explained that this was her pre-wedding relaxation trip and that I needed to stay behind and work to pay off the credit card because she couldn't enjoy her trip if she was stressed about money. She spoke about it like she was discussing buying groceries, not spending thousands of dollars on an unauthorized solo vacation. When I demanded she cancel the trip and refund everything, she flatly refused, calling me unreasonable and questioning if I wanted her to be happy. I pointed out that she had essentially stolen thousands from me, but she denied any theft, insisting that as my fiancé, this was what she needed, and that if I really loved her, I would understand. That's when she dropped the real bomb. She revealed that she'd already told her followers about it and planned to document everything for her social media, suggesting I should think about how good this would be for her personal brand. It turned out she had been planning this for months, coordinating with hotels and restaurants for social media collaborations. She had even started a new Instagram account dedicated to her pre-wedding European adventure. I immediately called my credit card company and reported the charges as unauthorized. Then I called my lawyer. Within 24 hours, I had canceled her card, removed her as an authorized user, and sent her a formal letter demanding repayment of all unauthorized charges. Her reaction? She went ballistic. She called my parents, her parents, our friends, anyone who would listen, claiming I was trying to ruin her dreams and control her. But in her rage, she accidentally posted a video rant on her social media where she admitted to booking the trip without my knowledge or consent, claiming it was her right as my fiancé to use my money however she wanted. That video turned out to be a gift. The credit card company reversed all charges, and her attempt to dispute it failed spectacularly when they saw her own admission. Her carefully planned influencer trip fell apart as hotels and restaurants canceled her reservations one by one. Instead of spending 2 months in Europe, she spent the next few weeks moving out of our apartment. The engagement was over, and so was her dream of a lavish wedding, which, as I later discovered, she had also started booking with my card. Her social media followers turned against her after the truth came out. Her pre-wedding European adventure account, which was supposed to launch her influencer career, became a cautionary tale about entitlement and financial abuse instead. Now she's living with her parents and trying to rebuild her marketing career, and I'm single, significantly wiser about sharing financial access and planning my own European vacation, one that I am paying for myself.